Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day been long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and there's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who, to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day, it's a long day coming, it's a long day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Long Days with Yannis Pappas. As you can see, we have what you call a set at this point. It's all ready. And, you know, John Stamos told me he was going to be a guest on this podcast. And although it was going to be by Zoom, I didn't want to do it without a set. So now we're going to run it through with Sergio to make sure the shots look good. So I'm here with my very good friend. I'm joking, by the way. That's a joke. You're supposed to laugh. No, I felt like you took it seriously. I felt like you took it seriously.
No.
You were like, yo, does he have me here?
I'm just thinking about the pocket dial of John Stamos at the show.
We'll talk about that too. My very good friend Sergio Chicon, comedian, boxing expert, dusty kid, very dusty. He says he likes dusty stuff. He came up with the expression dusty on his weekend, and let me tell you something right now, it's a keeper.
Yeah, I've been moving around like a dusty kid. I was on a dusty-ass train from Manhattan and doing some dusty-ass shit, looking at other people's text messages on the train. You ever do that shit, Jesse? Just look over someone's shoulder and read a text? I'm always looking forward to like a sex text or something like that. I'm a nosy kid.
That's inappropriate. I think that's borderline criminal at that point.
It might be, and I'm not too good to be a peeping Tom, but I have a ground level apartment, so I don't see shit. But if I had binoculars and I lived in a high riser, I would definitely have a whole setup going on. There's something about seeing people have sex that you don't know.
That it's
like in person, like live.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's going to see that and go like, all right, no, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, they're not going to go like this with the curtains.
Yeah, nobody's going to close. You're going to look.
Yeah.
Even if you're Jesus, I think Jesus would look.
Yeah.
I think even the best people morally will look.
Yeah, I'm holding the binoculars with one hand, Pop.
So if you don't know, we didn't tell you what dusty means. So dusty means, let me break. Me and Sergio just did a weekend together. Thank you to all the fans that came out. We had a great time. It was packed out. Celebrity theater, so much fun. Long Days fans everywhere. So me and Serge did this show, and we were staying at what you would now call kind of a dusty hotel, right? It's the Clearage Hotel that at one point was popping.
Absolutely beautiful structurally, but it is just dusty. I mean, as soon as I walk into my hotel room, 5-inch pubic hair, curly. And I left it there the entire weekend. I wasn't touching that shit.
Yeah, it was a dusty spot, and Serge came, he made up the term dusty that weekend. So he just made it up. That's a Sergio Chicon special. Dusty means, it's kind of a synonym for dirtbag shit. You're kind of an expert in snakes. Everything that comes out of your mind is either reptile related, boxing related, comedy related, or you filter everything through. You're like a dirtbag investigator. All you do is search for what your friends are doing that's dirtbag or for what you are doing that's dirtbag.
Yeah, it's just a good way to punctuate things. That's some dirtbag shit.
Yeah,
you know?
and I'll tell you what some dirtbag shit is. Atlantic City is some dirtbag shit. Atlantic City looks like it is being interviewed by Sergio on his podcast. And Sergio's going, so what happened, man? What happened to you? How you got so dusty?
Yeah, I mean, I have some dusty ass guests on my show. Have you ever like did you watch the clip? I'm always getting like, I gotta get you on for the shooting victims portion because I got shooting victims.
What?
Yo,
Oh yeah,
Jesse,
yeah.
what do you think about this for a potential show? The shooter and the victim, same room.
We were talking about it.
And they made up like 6 hours ago.
Wait, want me to tell you some? That's first of all, we were talking about that Atlantic City. That's a great idea. Second of all, you didn't notice some dirtbag shit I'm doing right now.
Oh man, I've done that shit before.
I still have the sticker on the shirt from Old Navy.
There's nothing like a fresh shirt.
Nothing like a fresh shirt.
But you get stopped right in your tracks when you have to peel out that sticker in public, right? Why is that? It happens in jeans. Like it fucks up your flow.
Yeah. So we did the show. We had a good time in Atlantic City. Fun show, especially the first night. One show. Does anything feel as good as one show? When you just have
that
to
is
do
nice.
one show. That's it. We did one show, and then second night we did 2 shows. But the hotel, just so we'll start with the hotel. The hotel in Atlantic City is called the Clearage. It looks like it almost looks like Jack Nicholson's in The Shining, the way the hotel used to be. And then you get there, and it's just kind of a shell of itself. It's not. And Atlantic City looks bombed out. Atlantic City looked like it got bombed. Yeah. It looks like actually the CCP in China bombed it, and we're trying to keep the culture going.
Yeah, like every other building is boarded up. It really is something out the wire. I think you said that. It feels like something out the wire.
Yeah,
but I don't mind that. Like Giannis,
you don't mind it until it keeps you up at night.
Yeah, Giannis kind of walks around with his head up, like scoffing at everything. He's like, I can't. Oh, this place is disgusting. But I kind of like the seediness. I don't mind seeing people down and out, and and kind of being around that, because it just shows how much better I'm doing than them. And I like
that's why you like it. You like it for some dusty reasons.
Yeah, I like it for some dusty reasons.
So you like to look at people and be like, I'm better than you.
Yeah, I'm like way ahead of you on so many levels. Right. Physically, mentally, I just got it.
Also, like I said this on stage, so I'll say it again. The thing about Atlantic City, we went to the White House to get some sandwiches. And when Sergio was talking to his wife, he was like, yeah, me and Yannis. First of all, it's dirtbag, you call me Yannis.
I go back and forth.
I've known you for over a decade.
I say Yannis and Yannis.
Yeah, you go, yeah. He was like, yeah, me and Yannis. We went like...
And every time I call you Yannis, I can feel you dart like over to me.
Dude, he referred to my name as if he was a host on an urban show that never met me before. You know how many times on an urban show I've been called coming to the stage, Yannis. So he told his wife, he goes, me and Yannis he called it White Castle. He couldn't even, sometimes he'll get so lazy with the information because he doesn't care, that the place was called White House. He said, yeah, me and Yannis went to White Castle. He goes, we went to this really good spot, White Castle. Like his wife would be like, what? Really good spot, White Castle? And I said to Becca, I said, it's called White House.
Yeah.
And this is how dirtbag Atlantic City is. It looks like the whole city, the primary economy of Atlantic City is drug dealing. You know how you go to San Francisco, you're like, oh, this is a tech town. You come here, you're like, oh, this is Wall Street, this is a money town.
That's
you go
exactly
to Atlantic
right.
City, you go like, you could knock on any door and you'd be like, can I get some drugs?
And they're not going to be good drugs. It's going to be some dusty-ass drugs.
Yes.
Know that. But I got to say, man, my record in Atlantic City is 1-2. The first time I went out there...
You fought in Atlantic City?
No. I didn't fight in Atlantic City, but I fought my addiction in Atlantic City, and I lost twice. I'm 1-2. The first time I went there, I dragged myself to oblivion, and I was hanging out with some lady who had a raspy voice. She was like, "You gonna let me drink your sangria?" And I hung out with her, and she had no bottom teeth. It was this like a wolf, like a bulldog. She had bulldog teeth, but these are only, and she was a lot of fun. Like she was a lot of fun. I remember she had these big titties, and it was like a vein squiggling on it. And she had a tattoo of a devil, and she was cool. I think her name was Dorothy. And she said, yeah, you're going to share that sangria, papi? And I hung out with her for a good portion of my time out there. Like at least 4 hours in the sun.
So,
and I wasn't supposed to be drinking at that time.
You're probably never supposed to be drinking because you're the type of kid who has one and then one turns into 100, right?
Yeah, so I had a little bit of cocaine left over from the night before I went to Atlantic City in my bus. I took a bump on a Greyhound bus. Like it was like the bumpy ass ride taking a bump, and my friend is like this, yo, save me something, like peeking over like a prairie dog out of a mound. You know what I'm saying? And it was just that kind of weekend, but it was a fun weekend. I think sometimes it is matches. Yeah. Because I was with good company. So that was 0-1, right? I lost the first because I came back to New York like a piece of shit.
Wait, but is that a loss? That sounds like a win to me. If you
it's a loss because I shouldn't be behaving that way as an adult.
Right.
Maybe it wasn't a loss, but I definitely like...
No, that sounds like a loss. If you're doing a bump on a Greyhound,
that's a loss. That's dangerous.
Yo, if I had you on one side and I had Atlantic City on the other, right? And I was the ref, I would hold up Atlantic City's arm. Yeah.
I don't know why I picture you not as a ref.
You'd be disappointed in the decision too. You go, damn, man, I don't know. I had a good time. I hung out with a woman who had a tattoo in the vein down here.
Is it dirtbag that I don't picture you as a ref, but as a car girl? Like, and not even with the Marisa wig, just like that with just a lot of hair. Just fucking holding the 1-0.
Okay, so you're 0-1. What's the other one?
And the other one was bad. And I think I told you a little bit of this story. I'm hanging out with so I'm featuring for a magician. right? Out in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Gigs, right?
Hard to get a win when you're featuring for a magician.
Yeah, and I'm still, I'm in the cloud of my bullshit, right? But I still love and respect animals. And this guy has a lot of animals as part of his act.
That's what I like about you. Not to cut you off, but that's what I like about you. You love animals so much that I picture you coming home, blowing lines, lying to your wife, hiding in the bathroom, putting on.
But there's always a fresh bowl of water for the snakes.
There's always a fresh bowl of water. You're always gonna come home and make sure you take care of your snakes. Even if you're high out of your mind, you're gonna go to the freezer, get out a mouse, and feed whatever his name is. What's the names of the snakes?
Astro, Pluto, Comet. There's a bunch of them. Elvira.
At this point, Sergio has 9 snakes. So most people have a midlife crisis. They get a sports car. Sergio just keeps getting snakes. That was a Freudian slip.
You call me Christopher?
I was about to call you Christopher because we're on the set. Yeah, Sergio just gets another snake.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, and then the second loss, so I'm hanging out with a magician, and he's like, let's get fucked up. And he got like all these silver rings. He got his hair plastered to the side. He's wearing a fedora, all the bullshit. He throws his doves and rabbits in the backseat of a Subaru, and it's like 90 degrees, and it's like no water. The car dries a bone. I'm like, yo, you got to give them water. He was like, oh, no, man, they die off, man. I just write it off. Like dirtbag shit.
So the magician's basically saying, like, if his doves die, he just gets another dove. He writes off the dead dove.
Correct.
And right there, that threw you for a loop because you love those doves.
Yeah. But in spite of the way he was going to treat those animals, I went ahead and I searched for drugs with the magician, like all night long. I mean, that's just what drugs do to you, right? So we go, and this guy's doing magic tricks, but fucking up. There's nothing funnier than magic trick. He's a magician though. He's not this magic guy.
Yeah,
he's a magician, so he's supposed to like not fuck up.
Yeah,
like a guy from work that's a janitor who does the little finger, pulls the finger out and. You expect him to fuck up next to the mop bucket. Right. But the magician, this guy's getting paid.
Right.
Yo, I saw him drink and just fucking up tricks. Like, oh, I see it. I heard girls like saying, I see it. But I'm far away. I'm like 8 feet away and it's blowing up his spot. I see it. That's wrong. I can see your trick.
But he's a low-level magician. I mean, he doesn't have a billboard. He has more of a loose-leaf piece of paper posted on a wall saying he'll be somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
His flyer's on a piece of paper, not even cardboard. The shit is just a piece of paper taped up with a rip in it.
Yeah, the dude is he's named after a horoscope sign probably, He's just a dirtbag.
But here's the thing.
Blazer with the pads and, Velcro collars, that type of shit.
Yeah, and
corduroy collars, my bad.
That's the real magic trick of him is that he does his magic show, and then what the kids don't know is when the magic show's done, he goes and searches for cocaine. Right. That's the real magic right there.
And he gave up on me. Like, I just thought, this guy, he's not going to give up. And it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. We're in the casino floor of Atlantic City. I bump into this big black dude. We make eye contact.
Wait a second. He gave up on you being like on the search.
Like he says, I'm going home.
So wait, you guys searched for cocaine till 8 in the morning?
Pretty much.
That's a lot of hours to search for coke.
And in the mix, he's fucking up magic tricks.
But how do you not find cocaine for 6 hours in Atlantic City?
He was making calls.
Were you guys asking for something else? Were you that fucked up already? You were going like, what's it called? Did you guys forget what it was called?
No,
you were like, yo,
he was
where can we get some pizza?
And then I eventually just saw a street level.
Let's just be honest, Serge. If our friend Angelo was alive in there, you would have been able to find cocaine in 10 minutes. Rest in peace, Angelo. Yeah, he would have appreciated it.
He would have pulled out a top hat and a rabbit holding coke.
So 8 in the morning, you guys are still searching for coke. You've been searching for coke for hours. Now, how does one search for coke? Does one just walk up to people and go, do you have coke?
He was making phone calls on like a shitty cell phone, And then
Did you get mad and go, yo, motherfucker, you're a magician. Make some coke up here. Yeah. Why don't you make some coke up here?
I kept on, he was talking to girls and I was elbowing him like, yo, did anyone call back? He's like, nothing, buddy, nothing. And then he was fucking up a magic trick. And there's nothing worse than like just drinking and waiting for the coke.
Yeah, so 8 a.m. he decides to fold it in by how? How does he fold it in? He says to you, Serge, buddy.
He might have just disappeared. Yeah. Like, he might have done the real.
Very appropriate. Yeah. Very apropos.
Exactly. And then I bump into this guy and he's like, hydro.
Wait a second. So you kept going?
I kept going.
You were like, I'm going to figure it out.
I was just trying to make eye contact with the right person.
Right.
And just, that type of shit, like I was cruising.
Yeah. Is that what it's about when you try to find coke? Just it's all in the eye contact?
Yeah, but I never...
Do you ever accidentally make eye contact with a dude who thinks you're just gay and goes and gives you And then you go up.
No, I never buy like that. That's how, I never buy off of some dude in the street like that. It's like the first time.
Right.
Usually I have a connect, but I'm in Atlantic City. And this motherfucker was like, I got weed, coke. And I was like, you got coke? Like my eyes like rolled back like the slot machine. They went, and there were like little snowflakes in my eyes. You know how they got the sevens? Mine was snowflakes.
Yeah, jackpot. Yeah.
Yeah, jackpot. And there was something about him.
Oh, did you pay when you pulled out? Did you pay with like $6 bills that you unfolded?
I went to the bank.
Up?
I went to like an ATM.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, I went to an ATM with him standing behind me. It was like a $10 fee. We did it outside the casino, so now we're like in an alleyway by a dumpster.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's bad. And so he was like, you sure you don't want the weed? And when he said that, it suggested to me that he was like he was showing empathy.
Wait, because you're basically saying...
He's telling me
He's telling me the coke is
garbage.
It's garbage.
Yeah, because he was like, you sure you don't want the weed? And I was like, nah. I was like, nah, I want the... And it was such a ridiculous bag of coke. It was like a Santa Claus bag, but clear. Like he like pulled it off his shoulder and like put it out, and I dropped the money in the middle of the street. A cop car flew by.
Did he give you his number just in case?
Yes, he gave me his... How
does that work?
Me trying to be street savvy.
Right.
I told him, listen, this is fake. Yo, give me a number. I'm going to call you right now. And I called him. His phone rang. He said, I got you. It's not...
So you didn't do the coke in front of him?
No, we're like in the street.
Right.
I go...
So it was his cell phone number when he called? Yeah. It was him.
And
so that's at that point you're thinking it's legit because he gave me his number.
Yeah, man.
Even though the coke was probably like purple or something. Yeah. You're still like, yo, I need coke.
And as soon as I hit it, I went... And let me tell you, I hit it like 8 more... And everything, my body was rejecting. I was tearing, my nose was running, and it was like saline solution or something. It was like crush. Yeah, it was super dirtbag.
So you didn't get high at all, you just got hurt.
Yeah, I just got hurt, man.
Did you call him up?
I called him up. He's like, nah. He's just like, nah, can't be. I got you, man. I'm coming back. And they turned his phone off.
And that was it?
Yeah, that was it. So
So you just kept calling straight to voicemail.
Right.
And so, did you give up on that eventually? You kept going. I just picture you
bad.
there for a full day, going straight to voicemail. You go, he's gonna pick up. I mean, he's on the level. He gave me his number. Just keep pressing. But it just went to voicemail. That was it. And you can't. Did you leave a message like, "Yo, man"?
Yeah, I think I left a message.
We had previously spoken, and you said that you were gonna make good. This is
I definitely left a message or two, and then I just called it. And that was 0-2. That the second one is like a late round knockout.
Yeah, that one is a knockout. Yeah.
Like, bad.
Yeah.
Like you ain't not recover from that one.
Yeah, it almost looked like the fight we watched where Sanders was fighting good, and then as soon as you sniffed the blow, that's when Canelo broke his eye socket.
Yeah.
But up until that point, there was a lot of hope to that night. You were on the way. That is definitely 0-2. In Atlantic City. I'm raising Atlantic City's arm once again. For real. Now let's hear about the victory. Was it doing shows with Yannis Pappas at the Celebrity Theater?
We had a good time. Anytime you're alone, you could get some dirtbag shit, but we worked out. We joked around a lot, and we had a good old time. It was just a wholesome weekend with some Lucy's on my part. I can't help it, man. So all my people who look up to me, they're like, oh man, Serg, you work out so much, you run and everything. I'm a bit of a dirtbag. I smoke Lucy's. I hide them from my daughter. There's always like a little yellow carton, this stashed somewhere, next to my CDs in the apartment.
Well, here's the thing about you too. You look like the last dude who's gonna pull out a pack of American Spirits.
I know.
I
definitely look like a Newport.
You look like a Newport, yeah. But he pulls out American Spirits. I mean,
it's not like they make you feel any better either. No. Those shits burn like there's crack cocaine in it. It burns slow.
Yeah.
It's a great cigarette for bar backs and waiters, I hear, because when they take their breaks from a job that they hate, it's a long one. It's a long smoke.
But when you run 5 miles. You woke up and you ran 5 miles on the boardwalk. I think you're entitled to a smoke.
Yeah,
I think that's like a dessert. Yeah. Well, it is dirtbag. But on the scale of the 2 stories you just told us, and then that you sneaking a Lucy, I'm gonna go with sneaking a Lucy. Almost sounds like you're going to see Beethoven do a symphony. I mean, that's how classy that shit sounds.
Yo, Jesse, can I ask you something? I feel a little dirtbag.
I thought he was about to say, Jesse, why do you have a mullet?
I love it, man. You look like a relief pitcher, man. I like it, right? That has to have been said. I can't be the first one.
No,
I mean, he looks like. Imagine when I see Jesse's look right now, I think of Jose Canseco. I think of Dennis Eckersley with that sidearm.
Yeah.
I think of Mike Schmidt.
Yeah.
I think of Kirk Gibson.
Yeah.
You know, limping past the bases.
Yeah, that's right. You just named all players from when you used to watch baseball.
80s and 90s.
Dude, me too. I couldn't name one baseball player right now. Baseball has to do something to make the sport more exciting. They got to do something. It's the only sport that has not adapted to the times. Every other sport has made rule changes to like adapt to the faster pace, except for baseball, you know?
So it's just the same thing. They allow the American League to play the National League. They mix that shit all up. But
that was the change they make. Yeah, I mean, that's nice that happened. They should have been doing that all along. But I mean, they got to do something to speed up the game. Yeah. People don't have the...
Steroids was the best thing that happened to it. It was like the kids said, that shit was lit.
But the thing about baseball is you kind of enjoy it the older you get.
I can't believe I just said that. The kids say that. I'm getting old.
Yeah,
and I got old. A 5 o'clock shadow on my head. And I think I'm going to regret it, all the views you get on this shit. It's annoying, man. It's just like, I should have came more prepared.
Yo, I can't lie. When I went into your room when we were first going to walk out, and you can't see the 5 o'clock shadow until you turn around. And then
it's like you, right?
Yeah, your head looks like a public toilet seat. Hey, everybody. We're also brought to you by Keeps. Now, here's the deal. I got a lot of kids who are bald and listening to this podcast. Also, I'm a kid who's got thinner hair. I'm not balding. I got a full head, but I like to keep it a little thicker. So I only love sponsors that I use. So I started using Keeps, and look at my hair now. I mean, John Stamos, watch out. I am definitely eligible right now to be your stunt double. Keeps is the supplement you need in your life. It's amazing. I actually love how they do this because look, talking about hair loss, it's an embarrassing thing. You want to do it virtually. So with Keeps, you get to have discreet virtual sessions, and they let you know what you need. And the packaging is discreet. And we're talking about proven results, guys. They have 5-star reviews, and they have more than any of their competitors. This stuff works. Look at how thick my hair is looking right now. Okay, prevention is key. That's why I started doing it. Okay, so if you see yourself thinning, or if you have thin hair anyway, you can even tell over the last 2 episodes when I started using it, I look like Fonzarelli right now. So 2 out of 3 men will experience some sort of hair loss. So I know there's a lot of you out there who are looking, I need a little supplement to make my shit look thicker. Go with Keeps, okay? If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to Keeps, KEEPS.com/fumes to receive your first month of treatment for free. That is KEEPS.com/fumes. So if you're ready to get your simple, stress-free, convenient virtual doctor consultation, your low cost, your discreet packaging, your 5-star reviewed hair loss treatment, go right now to keeps.com/fumes and you will receive your first month of treatment for free. For free. First one. No charge.
And it's fucking age, man. Now I'm starting to get sunspots on it, and my daughter's like, "Oh, Daddy, you're like a speckled egg." Like,
that's good, dude. That's comedic chops to call it a
speckled egg.
Speckled egg is funny. Speckled egg is real funny. So was the win in Atlantic City us, or was there another story? Was I jumping the gun?
The win in Atlantic City was us, and I got to tell you, I kind of went in like, I had to mentally brace myself because it's I don't want to say it's traumatic, but it's definitely, that was my experience.
Right.
And Atlantic 2 times over.
Right.
And so I go in like, oh yeah, Atlantic City's dirtbag and Plymouth's facade, like I know, but that's the way I behaved the last 2 times. So I had to definitely go in,
Right. Yeah, I know.
It's a weird thing.
No, it's like I remember the first show we did back here was like right after I had COVID in here. And when I got back in here, it was just all bad memories from COVID. A place gets haunted for you like that. AC had that haunting on it, but we turned it out nice. We went and got a brunch. We found the one outdoor spot. There was one restaurant that looks intact. That's not like some sort of like burger spot or hot dog spot.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
like one spot that's intact on the boardwalk, and
But the waitress is annoying.
She was
like,
really
at first we were like, oh, she's super dope and polite, and then she was like a fucking bird, like a seagull, like this mad intrusive. This guy, hey, can I help you with anything?
Yeah, she kept hovering over us.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember her mask like moving like this. Hey, can I help you with anything? You need more water? Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna. You don't have to pay your bill now, but be sure to just put it up here because I want to make sure that I take the bill when you actually pay, and I don't leave you with the credit card in there. And then she come back. Do you want some water? And we're still eating. Can I take a plate? Like she was annoying.
She was annoying. That's the thing. Is like when you're in New York, we are so spoiled. It's like if we were from like the Midwest or something, we would be like, she was so attentive. She kept coming. But New Yorkers, we're used to such a certain level of service that you can get to be too good, where you're coming to the table too much. It's like, you don't have to come check on us every 5 minutes. We got it.
It almost felt like I thought she thought we were gonna steal.
Right.
It felt a little bit like that. Like, we're not gonna,
She thought like we were gonna get up on the bill.
Yeah, like and I know she didn't, but it felt like that a little bit.
Right.
There was that tone.
Right.
After a while, I was like, yo, are you gonna?
Which is a surprising tone because I mean, we were like we looked like Harvard scholars walking around Atlantic City.
I mean, there's some characters.
We actually
out there.
looked like we were like maybe they could have thought Joe Biden and Kamala Harris walked in. That's how dusty Atlantic City is.
I mean, we saw a woman in a mechanical wheelchair speeding with a bleached blonde ponytail just blowing in the wind, smoking a cool with half legs.
Yes.
And just speeding like this. And I mean, I could not get enough of this woman because that woman has the answers. Anything you want an honest answer from an individual, that is the woman.
Because she doesn't care to lie to you. She's gonna tell you. I mean, she put out her cigarette on her nub, correct?
Yeah, she was like, psst. I mean, she's the type of woman I can ask her, hey, do you think I need braces? And she will give me the honest answer. Like, no bullshit. People be like, nice, no, it's charming, the open bite. But no, she would be real.
So you would ask her, do I need braces? And she would say,
I have something.
She'd go, yes.
Yes, you do. You look like a fucking prairie dog.
This is a true thing. We saw her. She was on the boardwalk, and she had 2 missing legs, 1 missing arm, and she was lighting a cigarette somehow with one hand.
But, handling it. Like, nothing looked like nothing looked awkward. She was like,
yeah,
speeding.
Which lets you know that she's been missing those arms for a long time because she's actually gotten used to it. She's gotten used to how to light a cigarette with one arm. And the thing about her is that she looks like she hit her rock bottom a long time ago. That's like when you see someone like that, you can't go like, oh, that's rock bottom. You're like, oh, she hit rock bottom 10 years ago. You're looking at the consequences of rock bottom for 10 years ago. I mean, she's like, it's like a long time ago where shit went bad.
Yeah, and she's still pushing.
Pushing, dude. She's pushing. She was speeding.
Isn't it crazy how some people's rock bottoms are different? That's a rock bottom, no doubt. Like, there's no doubt. But there's other people's rock bottom who would consider soft as like bitch motherfuckers. Like, oh really? You peed the bed and you stopped drinking? There's people like that.
I know, yeah. Yeah.
There's people who move around like that. I had someone, I had a conversation with someone and they were telling me this story like, yeah, I had to stop drinking. I'm like, why? They was like, because the cops caught me with a joint. And I thought it was a joke.
Yeah,
I said, no, I got caught smoking a joint.
Yeah, and you were like, really? That's hard for you? I sniffed baby powder at 8 in the morning, and I paid a $10 service charge for the ATM to get baby powder.
Yeah, dropping
poison.
drugs and money in the Atlantic City alleyway in front of cops. Because there was cops like zigzagging,
So what was for you, like, you're a guy who used to do stuff. You've been clean for a long time. I mean, I always joke, we're good friends, so I always talk about how annoyingly clear-headed you are. Whenever I ask something, you always go, man, it's not worth it. It's just like, don't do that. And I'm like, it annoys me that you're right every single time about what I should do and how to stay away from dirtbag shit. And then whenever I'm doing something dirtbag, you fucking have to announce it on me. Can't even let me live my life. You're going, yo, you're doing that. And I'm like, damn, you're right. So what was the rock bottom for you? Was it just looking around your apartment and you had no snakes?
No, I'll tell you. And this is not very funny, but I think it's
right.
honest and I think you would appreciate it. Because there was a time when my daughter was born.
Was it at a Maurice's show?
Yes.
When you saw my expression of disapproval?
Yo, that was one. So check
Me and
this
Jesse
out.
used to talk about how when you got hot, you got quiet. That's how we knew you were high, because you were quiet.
How was it?
And your eyes were mad squirrely.
Yo, it's like it was amazing that I paid $50 to become an uncomfortable introvert. Like, that's crazy that you pay money to behave that way.
It must feel really good.
No, it didn't. Like, it's not. You fucked up my eye because you were asking questions. Yo, what spot we were at in Park Slope? It was a dope venue, like kind of divey.
Oh, we were at Southpaw when it was still there.
Yeah, dogs. Come on, man. That was Marisa at its peak.
Yeah, but you know what? Technically, during that scenario, I'm your boss, and I need to know if my employees are high on cocaine.
And
I mean, Angelo, I just assumed, but I mean, Serg was cracking the show open.
My daughter was born that night.
Dirtbag shit.
Yeah, and I looked across from you, and you looked at me like this. You went, so Serg, you want the yayo? And I was like, nah. So that stood out to me. That was one. That was one. There's many of those, right? And my daughter was just born.
She was born the day before. Yeah,
the day before.
She was born the day before. I remember that day. I remember that. I remember you were quiet. And I remember you had it. I remember almost seeing it hit you, where you're going like, damn. I
think the realization came on stage in my 5-minute set.
I just farted. I just laughed and farted.
I think I used 3 of my 5 minutes talking about, oh shit, I'm a father. I think I might have did that on stage.
Where you just were like, oh my God, I'm a father.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm a father. Oh shit. Yeah. Like, I think I did that. There's probably some fucking grainy footage on a Nokia cell phone.
Yeah.
Video video floating around.
Yeah, that's what you talk about that on stage. I love that. You go, yo, if you want to get off cocaine, the best way is to just become a father.
Yeah.
So basically, your daughter is your AA.
Yeah, I mean, so that's why. So there's a collection of those moments, but there was one time that Charlie was maybe 6 to 8 months, something like that, and I was hungover, and it was a beautiful sunny day, and with me and Liz are staying in the studio apartment, and it was hard to fucking wake up. I was so hungover. And I remember Liz was fed up. She was like, no, you're going to deal with your crying child. And I looked at Charlie through the bars of her crib, and I really didn't want to deal with it. Like, everything in me didn't want to deal with it. I was like, I don't want to do this. And I was like, oh, shit. It dawned on me that if I keep going this way, I'm going to be a lot like my father. There was so many bad examples of what I could be. And then that was it. Because then from that point on, I used all the energy to get right. And that was it. Like, it was looking at her, and I was like, yo, she doesn't deserve this. She's like, I'm not even giving this shit a chance.
Right.
And she was crying. I didn't want to deal with it. Like, every part of me was like, holy shit, I don't want to be here.
Wow, that's a powerful moment. That's a dope moment.
And I remember her looking through the bars. I remember the sun. I remember how I felt. And that's consequential thinking. I go back to that. You know, if I ever get a dirtbag temptation, that's one I go in the archives real quick and I pull that one up.
That's a good one, man. You know what it is to me? Like, I figured out a long time ago, because I have you as a friend, Verzi. I started realizing, like, yo, at some point you got to, like, grow up and get a family and, like, have a normal life, because as comedians, we can't just keep going. At the beginning, it's like fun. Like, you're performing and it's like fun and it's a party and you're part of the party. And then it becomes like a job, like what you do to make money and stuff like that. And then I feel like if you don't develop the other part of your life, it goes back to a sad party. It just ends up going like...
There are a lot of examples.
Yeah, it just ends up becoming like a sad party where you're still trying to party, but it's not a party anymore because you're past the age for which you should be partying. Yeah. So that's a really good thing that you had that moment.
Yeah, and and from that point on, and the fact of the matter is, I failed a few times after that, but that was a strong driving force.
Right.
And then you become, and it was the only thing that mattered. And, Then you get the annoying part comes in because when you're like newly sober, you're like a pink cloud, and I'm like a Jehovah's Witness with the Bible knocking on everyone's door. Hey, do you know I'm sober? I have 125 weeks, and like I'm telling you, and I'm enthusiastic, and people are like excited, but I'm probably annoying.
No, but you know,
and I just want everyone to be sober with me because it's such a great thing.
That's what I think it is. Like I think people who get successfully sober are so enthusiastic because it's how dark it's been, and then how bright it must feel extra bright for you. That's why you're so fucking annoying. You're like, yo, Yanni, it's a good day. Yanni, come on, let's go outside. Let's hit the gym. Let's go.
I don't know if this is me before that, but I've seen those dark days that I don't let little shit get to me.
Right.
There's a lot of noise in your head that I can't allow I can't allow myself to come to those grips because I'm like, this is trivial shit.
Right.
This is something I created.
Right.
And things that are beyond my control, that shit rolls off my shoulder.
Right.
Right.
You're a guy, the thing about you is like you're a guy that needs to have a lot of stuff.
But I have a lot of hobbies.
You got a lot of hobbies. You got a high drive. You're high energy. Even I know you're high energy because sometimes I'll be in a car with you.
Sometimes I won't book you for a weekend because I'm just not in the mood. Because I know I'm not going to be in the mood for your shit.
No, I love your shit all the time. But I will say this, sometimes in the car, if the windows are rolled up, you come in a little loud.
Yeah, I got to whack volume, right?
No, because you get excited.
10, right?
Yeah, you come in, sometimes you
I
come in.
spit when I talk, too. That's why the masks are good for guys like me.
I see sometimes you try to block. I don't mind about the spitting, but it's like when I'm driving, sometimes you hit that. I'm like, what is that, car? You're like, yo, Guru was dope. You just cut. You got to with the windows down. I think it's good, but when the windows are up, that shit sometimes reverberates off the roof and hits me in all my orifices.
Yeah,
because you're high energy. You got a lot of energy. That's why you gotta.
Sometimes I don't realize the volume, and then I close my nostrils and I blow, and I'm like, holy shit, my ears were mad clogged. Like I was on another level.
Yeah. Well,
sometimes I'll set you straight. And blow, and then like, oh, this is what I should be talking like this.
No, but I love it. There's nothing wrong with it. But you're a guy who needs to stay active, and so you are now. You do comedy. You're a boxing trainer, and you're an illegal snake enthusiast.
I only have one that's mildly venomous. Slow down.
Is there a way to procure snakes legally?
They're legal.
They're legal, right?
Yeah.
Do you have to have like a license for snakes or some shit? Or
they're misunderstood creatures.
I don't know what's misunderstood about a snake. I mean, all I know is a snake will choke you out.
Yeah, but that rarely happens. Those stories are, they make great news, but it rarely happens.
Yeah, but they're reptiles, dude. They don't got feelings. They're not like a dog. Like if there was a fire.
But dogs will fuck you up, and they fuck people up every year after year. That's
a good point. But they also love their owners, at least. They'll never fuck. Like your snake, does your snake know you? Like, what's up, Serg?
I think nah.
Like when you're snake, does he recognize your bop? Because you bop. I mean, you ever see Serg come in? Serg is different heights when he bops. Like if you were trying to measure him while he walked, you'd have to get both heights. You
hear that shit? The Mr. Softy.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of kids feel good.
Yeah.
About getting the dessert. And they hold on to those memories of like their mother giving them money, and they're with their friends, and they're getting a soft served on a cone with sprinkles on it. You know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
Getting my ass kicked at 10 years old.
What happened?
I got my ass kicked at 10 years old. What more do you want to know?
With the soundtrack of the Mrs. Soft in the background?
Yeah, it was a hot summer night in June, and I was walking by myself, and it's intuition. That was my first lesson of going against my intuition. I was 10 years old. I remember that's Charlie's age. That's my daughter's age. My daughter, that's young.
Right.
Like my daughter doesn't even go out on her own. Like she doesn't go to school. School's right up the block. I was roaming the streets around 9 o'clock at night, heading home, dirty from a day of playing outside. Throwing rocks at my friends and shit like that. Playing Manhunt, all that crazy shit.
You remember Manhunt? That's a good New York City game. Kick the can, Manhunt. Did you play Kick the Can?
Yeah.
Yeah, all that.
Play by the fire hydrant, a pump. Stick ball, all that. And there was a mob of kids. There was like 12 of them. And I was walking towards them, and I saw some old ladies on the bench, and I told myself, I'm not going to walk away. My gut instinct was to, go right and go around the field and avoid them. And I said, I'm going to walk right through them. I'm not going to be scared.
So you weren't going against your intuition. You were trying to man up at 10 years old.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But something was telling me, move. And this kid went, you talking shit, shorty, and that ice cream truck was
10 years old.
Yeah, he came out and just started punching me in my face, laughing. And then another one hit me. And there was a little old lady who didn't get up to help me. She was like, no, stop it. And they fucked me up.
Yeah, New York was a dusty place back then.
Yeah.
New York was a dusty. We're all the same generation. Jesse didn't even finish high school because going to school got too dusty.
So you were out of fear, like the kids were too wild that you just quit school?
Yeah, I mean he's an artist. Yeah. He's too sensitive for that shit.
Yeah.
We all are.
I pretty much did the same thing. There was a lot of energy put in trying to fucking repel and defend myself and try to make up a character that can move around those fucking animals.
Yeah.
Too much energy rather than being focused on school.
Dude,
school was the last thing.
That's the last thing that was on anyone's mind was school. It was always about like there was an era in New York where whenever you went outside, it was always in the back of your head at least that something bad could happen. That's not normal to grow up like that.
I know.
That's like, talk about post-traumatic stress disorder.
So I realized that much later. But then, you think about, child soldiers and shit. I mean, it doesn't knock what we've been
See, there
through.
goes clear-headed Serge. Clear-headed Serge. I mean, it can't be bad because somebody has it worse.
I know. I shouldn't do that.
But you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, but there's
you
always
go, boo-hoo, Jesse. You had to get on the fucking A train and go to school. There's some kid in Africa who's got one arm who had to give his arm away for a diamond. No. Some fucking woman in Switzerland could get married.
I don't like thinking like that because I feel like then you lose empathy, or I do think that way, but at times I feel like no, your battle is just as important, and people's rock bottoms or stories are just as important. But when you know some other shit that's going on, it does trivialize it a bit.
Well, the thing is, you're not wrong. So it's like I remember Jesse used to tell me this. Is like because I remember you read What the What. What is the What? Which is about the incident in Darfur, right? Yeah, the civil war in Darfur.
I mean,
and yeah, so it does. It's different. Like we got scared on the train or whatever. These guys were chopping off their arm. I mean, there's one-armed children all over Africa, so some woman in Europe could get married and have a diamond on her ring. I mean, it's some fucked up shit. And no women ever go like this. They always measure it in carats. I'm like, how about you measure it in how many missing arms it cost? This right here is 4 arms, 4 baby arms.
And maybe it's different because there are kids who take the H and are killed or go into drugs because of that trauma. It's a different,
Yeah, it is relative to a certain extent, but all bad things are bad things, I guess. But it is good to keep perspective, so like, hey, you can complain about it, but don't become a bitch about it. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's like Jesse got a GED, but let's be honest. I mean, was he going to get B's or A's anyway? You ever try to do math around Jesse where he's like, wait, me and him, there's times we've been trying to figure out the check and we're like, wait. And then we just call a 7-year-old like,
yo. Like that with math? Your dogs. Terrible. My daughter with the fractions, and that's the thing. I didn't like the homeschooling shit because she was asking a lot of questions. Daddy, can you help with my fractions? I was like, I got to walk the dog. I was taking my dog for like 15 walks per day. My dog was like, what the fuck? Like, we just went out. Yeah. I couldn't deal with it. And then I had to own it. I was like, I don't know this. Your mom's going to help you.
Yeah, you got an interesting family, too, because you got, you got stepkids, kind of, right? Yeah. You consider them stepkids? Like,
yeah. So I'm probably going to be so Liz has 3 kids from a previous marriage. Right? She had kids young. Her first kid, her daughter, Liz was 18 years old, who is now going to be a mom. She's gay, so she did the in vitro thing, right? Which is really cool. Do you know what that is?
That was the thing. When you told me about it, I was like, yo, I didn't know how that process worked. Do you know how the process works? It's amazing.
Yeah, I knew very little about it, but it's you basically freeze the eggs, but you could get a sperm donor and get a full description on who they are. So like the schooling, whether they have any dirtbag tendencies, but it's all on the up and up. Their schooling is really dope.
So you're saying the sperm donors like his resume. You get to see his resume.
Exactly. Nah, there's different
Do you think those dudes what if they lie on their resume? What if it's like college educated, but the motherfucker he graduated high school and that was it?
Yeah, his like he's still working on his GED type shit.
Yeah, he's like, I got my GE. When you're still working on your GED, you got your GE.
Yeah, I mean that could be a dude like me. I'm not that bad.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm susceptible to drug use, but it's one of the things. I'm I'm a good guy.
Yeah, because they probably don't put any of the negative stuff down, right? It's just the positive stuff.
I mean, I don't know how much.
Nobody goes like college graduate, but also spent a couple of years doing cocaine.
Yeah, but I don't know how in depth they go. I don't know what the process is. I wouldn't even be a potential candidate for a sperm donor because I was like,
I wonder if you could make it like a pyramid scheme where like the more you pay, the more you can find out. So it's like you pay an entry level and it's like, okay, college educated. But then if you do like another $5,000, it's like, all right, yeah, I got a big dick. I got a big dick. Yeah, then another grand. He's like, and then you just keep going and going and going. You find out the dude's parents own like a horse farm and they're billionaires.
you know, there's some dirtbag shit in this family.
Gotta
'Cause
be.
everyone got some dirtbag shit.
Everyone's got
and
some
that's the
dirtbag.
thing. Like, you know, everyone got some dirtbag. You have to own the dirtbag shit within you or your family. So check this out. I didn't realize. So there's like a basic package. And let's say it's 5G.
It's like cable.
Yeah. She didn't get the premium package. She got the basic package, education, and like a quick little background. Oh, he grew up by horses in Canada or California.
Right.
So when this information was brought to my attention, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Wow. And you got the sperm in the freezer. That's really cool, man. Where's the picture? I said, oh, this package doesn't come with the picture. I'm like, what? Like I remember I was eating a burrito. I was like, you might want to reconsider going up, spending a couple of more G's and getting the deluxe. I could,
So the deluxe comes with the picture.
2 weeks later, yeah. 2 weeks later, I walk into the apartment. My stepdaughter's there with Liz, her mother, and I look at a picture on the table. I'm like, ooh, who's that? She was like, that's the guy. We went up. We got the deluxe package. I was like, oh shit, that motherfucker ugly.
So he wasn't good looking.
He wasn't good looking. He you know how your eyes are real close together? He was the opposite. He had shark face. He had hammerhead shark. Like I'd rather that.
Yeah.
I like that. I think I don't trust that guy.
My eyes are a little beady, right? Are they frustrated sometimes?
Wait, you said they're frustrated?
Are they frustrated yet? Like when you look at me, you just get frustrated because they're beady?
Yeah, they're beady, but only when at certain points of your mood they get a little beady. Like if you're upset, then I can't stand them.
Why? What do they get when upset? They get real beady?
Yeah, they just get dry, like little oil drops. Yeah,
just a little dark. Yeah, because I got dark eyes too. So sometimes in photos it just looks like my eyes are black.
That's a small percentage of it's not really your disposition, but there's a certain time where you're not happy. I'm like, oh, you should be happy more often because the beady eyes are not very becoming.
Yeah, I mean, I do have my eyes are they're really close. That's why I think I should just continue to wear glasses because at least it frames them and separates them a little bit.
So this guy
it gives them their own little houses instead of putting them in as roommates.
Yeah, this guy had
in a studio apartment. Yo, my eyes are roommates in a very small New York City studio apartment. And at least if I could give them their own little tenements.
Well, the pimple right now offsets it a little bit. It takes the attention.
Oh, you saw the pimple? Yeah. I mean, look at
That's
you, man, just pointing out all my dirtbag shit. You're a dirtbag investigator.
That's an Atlantic City pimple. That was from White Castle.
No, that was probably from laying on that dusty ass bed that hadn't got cleaned.
We're lucky we didn't get scabies.
No, so here's the deal. Last night.
Wait. Let me.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So the deluxe package. So she doesn't use it. She left that motherfucker in the freezer with the sofrito and the fucking ice. Yo, with the frozen pop. She left that motherfucker still in there. So if you know somebody.
So what did she do? She got it. She
got another one.
She went
Premium package.
Good looking guy.
Yeah, chisel face features.
Wait, so are you really telling me that they give you pay according to how good looking, how accomplished the guy is, sperm?
I don't know if it goes by good looking, but you definitely pay to get the picture.
You pay to get the picture.
Yeah, like there's a basic package that doesn't give you the picture.
Right.
And then it's like a deluxe version, you get the picture. And then it's like, another one.
But what if you get the picture and you don't like it? You paid for it already? You just have to deal with it?
I think so.
That's whack.
Yeah.
So
he looked a little bit like Drake.
Yeah.
But with, some other shit going on.
So not exactly like Drake.
Yeah, there's some
Drake
other
like
shit
after
going
like
on.
he got his face reconstructed.
Yeah, like you look at Drake and go, hey. Like, when you see someone, you go,
So he was to Drake as I am to John Stamos. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Stamos' wife in that show was a dirtbag. Isn't she locked up?
Which show?
Oh, Full House.
Oh yeah, with her
she
kids.
She got in trouble, right?
Yeah, her kids.
She thought she was gonna get away with that shit.
Yeah, she tried to help her kids get into college or whatever.
Yeah, people are nuts about education like that.
Yeah, but a lot of people do that. I think she's like the
Scapegoat?
She's like the scapegoat. You know what I mean? It's like they all do that. Who
They pay it
doesn't?
off?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Or they go, hey, you know somebody at the college. It's all nepotism. You know how it is. You weren't born yesterday. You're from the streets. You know how it works. Yeah. This is what I wanted to get back to about Atlantic City, though. So on our last night in Atlantic City, we did the shows, did great. Then we were searching for the fight. This is how dirtbag Atlantic City is. And Serge made this point, and it's hilarious. Dude, we're in Atlantic City. There's like a couple of massive sports bars. We ended up going to this like sports area where the screen, it couldn't have been bigger. It was like the size of an airport hangar, the screen. And they had on like the Utah Jazz game on a night where Canelo was fighting. So Atlantic City is so down in its luck that Serge pointed out they didn't even spend $50 to fucking get the Canelo fight.
Yeah. I mean, we're watching fucking baseball.
I think they had a WNBA game on in fucking Atlantic City.
Yeah.
It's only $50. Like,
yeah,
so we couldn't even find the fight in Atlantic City.
Yeah, we were at a fucking beautiful sports bar that looked amazing. They didn't have the fight that the world was watching. We were on my fucking DAZN app on my phone, my little ass finger, showing the fight.
Right, with his finger hanging up like that because it can't grip the phone. So it was just like that. And his finger was just out. His finger always hangs out like that.
And Yannis was like, can you do something with the finger? I can't.
Yeah, he could. It was just moving around like that. But you made a funny point. You said something about how like it, because you spelled it out and we thought about it. It's real funny. Like somebody actually made that decision. Somebody was sitting around and going like in Atlantic City going like, yeah, no, you know, we don't have $50 to spend for the fight.
Yeah, it's like I picture like a young like intern or someone, you know, ambitious, like, oh, we should have the fight on for our guests. You know, Canelo is fighting us Sundays. It's like UK versus Mexico. And like, it's not in the budget.
Yes.
It's $50.
$50. I mean, me and you would have paid for it.
Yeah.
If we would have went to the head of Atlantic City and been like, yo, let us buy the fight.
Yeah, supremely dirtbag.
So the night started off like that. So you know when the night starts off like that it's going to be just a rough night. It's always like, what is that, the Murphy's Law? Now, you just got the unlucky location because all I heard was one skirmish. I just heard one skirmish in the hallway. So it's our last night there. We're trying to leave early in the morning. We want to get a good night's sleep. A couple of healthy guys who worked out. You know what I mean? We didn't eat that bad. You know, just watch the fight on Serge's phone, me, him, and his finger.
I'm awakened to fucking, you know... Think, you know, Solange beating up Jay-Z. Think fucking, what's the, you know, Chris Brown beating up Rihanna.
Or Johnny Depp and what's her name? The white girl.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name, but like that.
Yo, you had to balance it out because I was throwing a lot of black people under the bus.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not the only dirtbag situations.
To be fair, it was a predominantly black hotel. Okay?
I mean, I think one of the jokes I told was I said, I think this hotel thought that Cat Williams was here this weekend.
Yo, most of the people, everyone was nice. It just happened that there was a fucking couple. But it was Dusty. There was a couple next door to me that was fighting, and she was like, "Fuck you gonna do? Fuck!" And it was just like, oh.
But here's the thing. This is the funny part. Oh, please. Serge all weekend was telling me, you know what? He goes like, this is my favorite part. He goes all weekend. He's going, you know what? It's nice. It has character. Because he's so clear-headed. This is where his clear-headedness gets a little annoying. He go, you know what? You're looking, you know, you're saying it's a negative thing, but look, this place has character. You know, it's dusty, yeah, but I mean, these people have character. They're good people. You know what I mean? It's all, everything is fine. It may not be the classiest place. You know, I did find a pubic hair on my face when I woke up, but you know, he's so clear-headed. He's going, you know what? You know, the maid's probably not getting paid a lot right now, COVID and all that. He's finding all the over-empathy, but God forbid that dustiness interrupts his night of sleep. What's the first thing the Serge did? What's the first thing he did? He called security. He went, hello, security. Security, there are some people, and I'm putting people in quotes because the way they're acting right now, you would not know it, who are interrupting my sleep. Can you call the police now, please?
Yeah, dog. The place is so dusty, I couldn't even use the phone because there was no front desk button. So I just relied on other strangers.
You just pick the phone and somebody just say hello, and you're like, who's this? He's like, yo, this is Jerry. Who's this?
Right.
You're like, yo, he's like, I'm not at the front desk. I'm at my house.
Oh, yeah, it was fucking...
So they were going crazy. There was like a big fight in the hotel, and you called security. Security came up, but you were getting close to going out there in your slippers and saying something. Excuse me, can you guys keep it down?
This is not okay. This is not okay. When people say that it's not okay, it's really annoying.
It's
no matter
really-
what it is.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Now, you hear that a lot. You hear that tone a lot. Serg is like, you might be like, you got to be one of the best. I'm not just saying that because you're my friend, because I train with you. You're so good at it.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You're so good at it. And you know,
I enjoy it. You can tell I enjoy it.
this is how you know you're good, because you got the, I feel like if there was like, just like there's a basic level and a premium level and a deluxe package to the frozen sperm you could get if you want to do in vitro. I feel like if you're a trainer, who you are as a trainer can be seen through the clientele you got. And I think the lower trainers are going to get guys who are like, yo, man, you know, like I'm trying to get in shape. Or like some douchebag from Wall Street going like, yeah, man, fucking teach me how to box or something, just in case I want to call a waitress a bitch and the bouncers come. I want to be able to handle myself. Sergio gets like top, like white girls. He gets these. He gets like high. I love Sergio. He gets like when they recommend him, they go, "Oh my god, he's so he's so personable. He's so funny. He's also a comic, and he's so fucking sweet. He's so sweet. And he's so good at his job."
I got a dope crew.
Yeah,
and they're so good, and there's so many that follow and that are down that I can say no to people, which is fucking nice.
I feel
but
like
every now and then I got caught, slipping. There's a
someone will say no, and then they'll see you on the street training somebody else.
Yeah, there was a guy. He was like a super in the building, and sometimes and that's fine. It doesn't matter if it's super, but I can just tell there's bullshit coming up.
Right.
When they're like, "Do you do a half-hour session?" I know there's bullshit. Right. Because you're already saying you want to pay half the money.
Right.
You do half-hour session. All I want to do is hit the pads. I'm not a punching bag. You're not just gonna hit my hands for 30 minutes.
Right.
I boxed before. I just want to hit pads. Nah, we're not doing that shit.
Yeah.
I can smell that bullshit a mile away.
Yeah, that is a good position. You've gotten so popular doing it that you have to turn down people.
Oh yeah, it's a good fit. I like saying no.
You like saying no. Yo, you should open your own spot at some point.
Yeah. Because you don't seem to be impressed with the fact that I'm doing most of my classes under an oak tree.
Well, here's the deal.
Tompkins Square Park.
Here's the thing, Sergio, we were joking because, like, it's funny, like, we did well. I did well under the pandemic with hyenas. We grew under the pandemic. Serge also did well under the pandemic. You were one of those trainers that just fucking adapted and you started working.
I jumped on it quick. I didn't fuck around. I felt sorry for myself for a day, 24 hours. And then I jumped on the Zoom. And I did that, and that sucked. I didn't like doing it, but I did it, and I did a lot of it, and then I figured it out.
And you did a few freebies with me when I was recovering from COVID.
Yeah, that felt good, man. It felt good.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
that was
good.
real nice of you. Yeah,
it felt good to connect with you because we didn't see each other in a long time.
Yeah.
But once you started whining, I was like, yo, I got a bad connection. When you started crying, I was like, yo, you shake. Yo, wait, where are you? In the basement? I kept on going like this to the screen. Yo, Yanni, push up. You're gonna give me 5 squats?
Yo,
I'll call you.
What's that like training people outside though? Because like you don't have the privacy of a gym, so you have to deal with whoever's in the park all the time.
Dogs. I mean, it doesn't happen often. When you're dealing with the public, you have to just nip it right on the butt. Because we're street savvy dudes. I could tell right off the bat if I see a dude on a city bike. I'm like, yo, this guy doesn't have an active bank account. I could tell right off the bat. Plastic bag hanging off the, he likes to ride too much. He's doing, sharp turn. He's in a basketball court. He does not have an active bank account. He pulled that shit from the seat and figured it out. And now he wants to tell me that he was a Golden Gloves champion in 1986. And what I do is, when it comes to street people, and if I have a session going on with like 5, girls, I say what's up to them. I engage with them immediately. I look right in the eye. I say, "Well, good morning, bro."
And why do you do that? So if you see someone kind of hovering around, that's a hover.
Because people want to feel noticed.
Because when someone hovers, they're not up to any good.
Yeah.
You know what? One of my favorite hovers is actually like the Atlantic City prostitute hover, where you're at the bar and you just like. Those girls that just hover? That's how you know who's a prostitute and who's not. Because when a girl's not a prostitute, she's like, if she's by you, it's like she's getting her drink and then she's got like a look like, get away from me.
Yeah, gross.
But if like you just see some girls hovering around you, it's not because you're Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, they're doing this. They got the straw and they're going,
Yep.
They're looking over.
Yeah, that's the look too. That's the look, yeah.
You look like so and so.
Yes.
You look like a break dancer.
Yeah. Oh, one of them said that to you.
Yeah. She was dusty.
She was definitely a prostitute. Yeah. Definitely.
I can't just get a compliment, right?
No, I'm just saying, not because she gave me a
compliment. This guy shit on my parade.
No, because it was just a weird compliment. She was like, "You look like Obama." I was like, I think she's just trying to make conversation and see if you want to go upstairs.
For real.
For a couple dollars. But so yeah, you with these girls, and so why do you do that when you see a guy who's hovering and a guy you feel like is a street dude or sketchy? Why do you immediately engage him first to let him know that you know he's there?
Yeah, because I think ignoring or not giving eye contact, it gives them more of a reason to try to figure out what the thing is, what's going on,
right.
Or they take it as a sign of disrespect. Like so I'll just be short and sweet. Yo, good morning. And then if they want to continue to talk or something, like they take it as like an introduction. I'm just working here. I got an hour, and I'm honest but short and sweet.
Right.
Nip it on the butt. Because I've done the other, turned away, roll my eyes towards the girls and not address it, and it continues to happen.
What's the most dirtbag shit that's happened out there during COVID? Did you have like any real dirtbags who were like looking at the girls or stuff? Because you're kind of like their protector almost there when you're out there in the.
So this one guy was hovering around and he was like, yo, and I said hello to him, but he kept on coming around. And I played it around in my head like, yo, some shit may go down. Like this guy has bad energy.
So that sucks that you're trying to train these girls and now you're also thinking at the same time.
Yeah, which by the way,
all
the times I've been out there is never it 2 times I was just like, this is a little awkward. But so he was like, all he wanted to do was tell his story. I'm done. He's like, yo, they pay you for that? I'm like, yeah, that's my job. He's like, yo, I used to be a Golden Gloves champion. And then he started shadow boxing. He actually looked pretty good. He wasn't bad. I could tell he boxed.
Right.
And he goes, yo, I could have been somebody, man. But when I was 18, my boy got murdered. And I saw the guy who killed him. And I murdered him. And I was like, it derailed my career. But, yo, if that didn't happen, man, I would have been champion.
Yo, at least he's a good friend, though, right? Yo, he's a good friend.
He said that shit casually. It wasn't like he was trying to impress me, intimidate me. He wanted to tell the story that he could have been a champion.
Right.
And he took a life.
Right.
Like he mentioned that part of the story as if he just lost a Metro card. Like it was that casual.
Right.
It was wild.
Because he's a kid who he lived a hard life in jail too. Yeah. Was he older?
He was probably like late 40s, 50s. Yeah, he was young. 50s?
Damn, so he got a short bid for murder. Yeah. That's a short bid. Well,
this one time I'm training this guy. This is at Tompkins Square Park. This is a few years back. This guy comes through and he's like a Middle Eastern stocky guy. He looks strong. And he comes, he says, I practice my own martial art. And he says, I don't want to interfere with your session, but if you guys want to learn my martial art, I teach you both. It's a combination of jiu-jitsu and he's like mad intrusive.
Right.
And he's like a thick dude. Forearms are thick. And he says, may I show you? And I was like, I'm kind of busy right now, so let's do it quick. He says, I can manipulate you with your hips. And he grabbed me. And that's a weird thing for a stranger to grab you.
Yeah.
And and he's like, take my card. You want you and your student? I teach you my martial art.
He was basically marketing on your people.
Yeah. He said, I'm not trying to steal your client. I just, and I was like,
that's exactly what you're trying to do.
It felt weird.
Yeah.
And he gives me his business card.
Yeah.
Now his business card is the picture on it is a selfie of him laying in bed like this. With all the fat from his neck just falling on his ears.
Yeah, that's not going to do it.
And on the business card, it states that he's a web designer, martial artist. It's like a list of 15 different things.
Yeah.
And on the very end, it says Tenik Escort. I don't know what that means. So
he's an escort?
Well, this is what I don't know. It was a Tenik escort. So I go home. I tell the story to my wife. She's like, "Oh my God, that's so weird." And I was like, he said, "There's a YouTube channel. On a YouTube channel, he's on a train breaking coconuts with his elbow." On an active working train.
So he's a strong dude.
He's a coconut?
Yeah.
He's like that. And he go, and he's like that. He's disgusted with the just. and he finds a napkin somewhere. He just, you know.
He's somebody who probably has the skill, but he just needs help in the marketing department.
Dog,
he needs Andrew Schultz to come in and be like, yeah. Let's clean up that business card.
Yeah. So check it out. He's baking coconuts. I get deep into it. Now it gets weird. Now I go on his Twitter, and it's like, oh, I don't care if I have a tattoo of Al Qaeda. I'm me. I still represent my people. I didn't get it, and it's kind of spooked me out.
Right.
So I threw the card away.
Yeah.
And then it's a story in the apartment, right? So Liz's brother comes in. He's like, oh my God, that's so funny. Can I see his card? He's like, what the hell is today? And I was like, I don't know. So we type it in to Nick, and it's 10-inch in one word. 10-inch escort.
So what does that mean?
Oh, he means it's a 10-inch escort, motherfucker.
Oh, that means he's got a 10-inch dick.
Yeah.
Yo, my man really needs to pick a career. Yo, you can't do it. You can't be a jiu-jitsu, web designer, and a 10-inch escort. You got to pick one. You know, what do they say? What is that? Jack of all trades, master of none. You should have called him and like, yo, bro, let me see your jiu-jitsu and let me see your dick. And whichever one I feel like is superior, you got to go with that. You can't have 10 inches and leave that for a life of jiu-jitsu. That motherfucker needs to be in porn.
Yeah.
He needs a role model, somebody to guide him in the right direction. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't going to be you that day.
No.
Because he was interrupting your session.
Yeah.
And also, if you have to give your business card, you're not going to get business. The best way to get business is word of mouth, no? Like, you got all word of mouth. You got, like, good word.
Yeah,
you got,
it almost feels corny putting up, hey, doing sessions.
Right.
But that's just, and it took, it took a long time. I mean, it's being personable. It also helps that I've been doing stand-up for years. I know how to work with people.
Right.
I know how to make them laugh. I know how to make it interesting. People learn differently, too. Some people, it's the words. Some of them, you got to, show them exactly what it is. Like, you got to... There's different ways of working with people. Some people respond to like a hard orders. Other people need thorough explanations and be a little softer, whatever the case. But the people I work with, it's a certain tone that's consistent and it works. And it's word of mouth at this point.
Now, here's the thing about LongDays. This podcast is all about me passionately ranting about stuff and telling the truth in the news. I'm the only trusted news source available. But it's very interesting and fascinating to me that people's passions, what they gravitate to, I think speaks more to who they are innately than to who they're nurtured by or whatever. Because, like, there's plenty of parents who try to give a baseball to their kid, and the kid's like, I mean, you always hear that Ken Griffey Jr. story, but for every Ken Griffey Jr. story, there's a million baseball players whose kids didn't want to do that. So when people gravitate towards certain things, I feel like it's innate, almost destiny. You gravitated, there's something about you that's just, you move around with funny energy. You got a combination of hobbies and passions. They're not even hobbies. You are deeply passionate about boxing, and you went and sought out a job at Petland to be around animals.
Yeah, I was proud of that job too.
Stand-up comedy, and drugs. Now you threw drugs off the bridge, but how was that a natural tug for you? Did you seek out Petland, or did you see a sign in the store? Because I have a feeling you sought it out. You had a goal to work at Petland.
Yo, dogs. I used to go every weekend with my mother. We used to take a walk to Petland Discounts to get pinkies for my little king snake.
So that you got a snake first. You wanted a snake. Like, you didn't know did you know anyone with a snake that influenced you?
I had a library book that I read over and over, and I had a description of like 30 snakes, and I learned all about it.
And you were drawn to it when you saw it.
Drawn to it.
See what I'm saying? It's like you are a sculptor and like and painter and artist and stuff like that, and like he's so good at it. But like I remember we were roommates when you started sculpting. And the first thing he sculpted was like dope. If you gave me something, I would sculpt a penis or a Smurf. And that's it. Like, I don't have the innate ability to do that. So it's like there's something innate, like you're born in your code that like, and then you go through life trying. I think that's the point of life, is like to try to find those things that your code wants you to do. And you sort of feel that click when you find them. When you opened up that library book and you looked at those fucking evil animals who will choke out your rabbit but not think twice about it, you fell in love. And then
they bring me peace. They're slow moving, the way they feel, they're mysterious. They're beautiful creatures to me. I mean, if I really express to you how I feel about them, it would that's the way I feel. They bring me peace. Like, you know how someone tends to their garden?
Yeah.
When I tend to my animals, that's the way I feel.
That's great.
You know, like the growth in it. I like to decorate the cages. Like, that's part of the fun, you know, giving it a naturalistic enclosure, even though they're like in the equivalent of a studio apartment.
Yeah. But they don't know they're snakes.
Yeah, and you know, they like confined areas that are dark. They like to, you know, they have no arms, obviously, so they like to feel like their body close to something. If not, they feel vulnerable. You don't want to approach a snake from above either, because then they feel like a predator's above them.
Right.
You always come in at the same eye level.
Right.
You know, tap them on the head with a little hook. Tick, tick.
Right.
So, because they're food aggressive.
Right.
I have one that comes out like
Ready.
like that, biting his bottom lip like that. Like, it's like me when I was used to look for coke like that. Well, that's that.
So he's ready. He wants food.
Yeah, so what you do, you train them, you tap them on
So
the
they
head.
have different personalities. Like you can tell the
You know,
different.
some of them are more food aggressive. Others are a little more shy. It's very,
But it's very small variation.
Yeah.
It's not like humans where like one person can be very
If
smart.
you're interested in a reptile that has a real brain and they understand, you know who their caretakers, monitor lizards, Komodo dragons, things in that family.
Komodo dragons are dirtbags.
Yeah, they're super intelligent though. Like they know the
They're
deal.
dirtbag killers.
I would love to go to Komodo Island.
Do you know what Komodo dragons do? How they kill? It's wild. So what they do is they'll stalk you. They'll stalk you and then run up and just bite you once.
And they got venom.
And then they'll just wait for you to kind of get paralyzed, and then they eat you alive while you're paralyzed from the venom. So after they bite you, they just stalk you and hang around until you find kind of that. And then
I would love to visit Komodo Island though.
You like dirtbag animals, but then you also love dogs, which to me are not dirtbag animals.
I mean, they're amazing creatures though. If you think about it, they've been around here for years. I had a 6-foot iguana named Moesha who used to fucking whip my pit bull, Taina, with his tail to eat her dog food. He'd go, and they go. And then walk and eat dog food. I had a fucking lizard, a vegetarian lizard. They ate dog food.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
And she used to hang out by the windowsill like this. And one day, early Thanksgiving morning, I was awakened by my ex. We had a mattress on the floor, right? That was my Murphy bed at the time. There's a mattress on the floor. And she's like, oh my God, Moesha has pushed the screen out. She was going back and forth on the screen. I went to retrieve Moesha. She falls out the window, surfing on the fucking screen. 8 stories, Yanni.
Did she live?
Bang! I go downstairs. I'm in flip-flop. The lizard looked cool as shit. It was all white with black stripes like a fucking zebra lizard.
It changed its colors?
Yeah, shocked. I thought it was dead. I was just gonna put it in the incinerator. I didn't know what to do. Yo, he got up and went. Amazing creatures.
That is amazing, yeah.
8-story
fall.
8 stories. I pick it up. Of course, I run into an abuela, like an older Spanish woman in the lobby. She screams. I freak her out. I might have killed that woman. Seriously, I never heard a howl like that. You know how old the Spanish people, they see a serpent like that?
Yeah.
Just the way you're behaving. Oh my God, crazy creep, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine an old, you know.
Yeah, well,
I'm very surprised that you react like that.
Yeah, no,
it's very disappointing.
No, I know, but my favorite part of that story, it was a great story, but my favorite part of the story is I love when you try to pronounce Spanish words like you speak Spanish. Because you don't speak a lick of Spanish, but you'll once in a while he'll be like, you know, and then there'll be an abuelita.
Yo, and Yanni is so fucking observant that he feels my discomfort immediately because we had a fan who spoke to me in Spanish right outside of a parking lot, and they said 50 things in Spanish, and I get the immigrant smile like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, but he didn't go, no, I'm sorry, I don't speak. He pretended to
understand.
So he did the immigrant smile anyway. Yeah, abuelita.
Yo, and the guy knew.
I think you even said despacito.
Yo, and you looked at me like you just knew how uncomfortable I felt.
Knew you were, yeah.
And you were just waiting for them to leave, and they left immediately.
As soon as they leave, I made jokes about it. I was like, yo, I
left the dude kind of hanging.
You did, because he said some shit, and then you were like, he did one of these. He went like, yeah.
He might have asked me a question.
He did.
I have no idea.
I mean, he said like 14 words. He was like Puerto Rican. He said,
it was something.
And Serge, yeah.
And he knew I was full of shit, and he kept it moving.
But that happens to me all the time with Greek people when they start speaking to me in Greek, and I'm like, yeah.
It's the worst.
It's the worst.
But you know, I'm not gonna learn the language. I resigned to the idea.
It's too late at this point. I feel the same way about Greek. It's like I'm just too late, man.
I would like, I mean, I could learn, but it's going to be a lot of time.
Are you like me, like your sister speaks and you're the one who doesn't?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it
that's
sucks.
like me too. My brother speaks. I'm the only one who doesn't. Sergio Chicon on Instagram. You don't even want me to. How if somebody wants to like do a session with you? Is there room?
No, reach out.
Yeah.
I actually had a few of crossover fans, people who listen to the podcast. They're dope to train. Shout out to Smitty if he's listening to this. I have a few of them. You're interested in a session? Let's get it on and popping. It's a lot of fun. It's a good workout, and But your own gloves though. Don't annoy me with that shit. Like, do you provide gloves? It's fucking. We just fucking went through a pandemic. Why would you want to use someone else's glove? Using someone else's used glove is like the equivalent of wearing someone else's socks. It's baffling to me that people will even ask those questions.
Yeah. See how clear-headed he is. And he loves the dusty scene. But he doesn't want anyone sharing gloves. So, and I'm not just saying this because he's my dear friend, but he is. I mean, you won't get a better training experience if you want to learn how to box, you want to work out. I mean, he pushes. That's why he's so popular. So go check him out. Where do they hit you up on the gram for that or what?
Yeah.
Just informal. Hit him up on the gram.
At Sergio Chicon.
Yeah, hit him up on the gram if you're interested or you know somebody who's interested. Also, check out his podcast, the DBS podcast. And, hopefully, and I know it's true, hopefully Serge will be coming out with me a lot. You also probably see him doing stand-up all over the city, wherever. But, go check him out. Support Serge. Listen to the DBS podcast. And thanks for being my first official guest with the sign.
I appreciate you, homie. Thank you so much.